bottom of the bottle, I've been drowning, I've been floating away. Every other dollar that I got in bed, I probably went it away. I ain't okay, I ain't liking it, babe. I don't even wanna talk, I'm just smoking my haze. I've been stuck in my ways, I've been stuck here for days. I've been staring at the clock as the radio plays. I'm enslaved. Yeah. Rolling another, I'm stuck in my seat for the whole control of my speech. Yeah, I've been trying to get off this couch for a minute and a whole week. No kidding, I'm skinny, I cannot eat. Got a million that depend on me. Yeah, every friend in my family, from a girl, every fan I meet myself. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts, like jumping off of that rooftop. Oh my devil, when I do nothing to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's your stuff.
Hey, what's up, guys? So what do we know about what's going on there in Georgia right now? Well, I'm not accusing the school of dropping the ball the day of the school shooting, but the shooter's mom called the school 30 minutes before the shooting and warned them that her son had texted her and said, "I'm sorry, Mom. I love you." And the school counselor had told his mom that he was discussing a school shooting that morning. That should have been a red flag right there. And what do we know about his dad? Well, his dad gifted him the gun for Christmas. But there's stuff coming out about his dad that he yelled and screamed at his son.
Okay, it's okay. Lay that gun down like we had it for the picture.
Marcy Gray told reporters over the weekend the shooting was absolutely horrific. Meanwhile, Marcy Gray's sister, Annie Brown, Colt's aunt, told the Washington Post that Marcy had called the school to warn of a, quote, extreme emergency 30 minutes before the shooting. The Post reported that Marcy texted her sister, "I was the one that notified the school counselor at the high school." The paper said it had a screenshot of the exchange. The message continued, "I told them it was an extreme emergency and for them to go immediately and find to check on him." The Post story also claims that a counselor.
She told them to go find him and check on him. Do we know that they actually did that? Because they did go and check on him, but they found somebody else with a similar name.
Him. The Post story also claims that a counselor.
And this is where the dad's involved, guys.
The Post story also claims that a counselor told Marcy Gray that her son had discussed a school shooting that morning, and Marcy Gray was quoted as saying that her son had told her in a text message that he was sorry. Much remains unclear about what prompted that call, and the sheriff's office is referring all calls about this to the DA's office. I know because I reached out. Meanwhile, Colt Gray's grandfather spoke to the New York Post over the weekend, laying much of the blame on Colt's father, Colin Gray, describing him as screaming and hollering every day. He's evil. They didn't survive in it. Colt has to pay for what he did, but I'm telling you, he was driven, no question in my mind. He was driven by his father to do what he did. That's as plain as I can put it, and I know I'm right.
He has to pay, but he was driven to it by his father. By his father. I know the father has 2 counts of felony murder in the second degree, 4 counts of felony involuntary manslaughter, and 8 counts of felony cruelty to children in the second degree. If this is the case that this boy was driven to this by his father, I mean, yes, he deserves to uh, pay for what he did in that school that day. But his dad is equally culpable with the shooting if he was driven to do it by his father. Anybody under the age of 18 does not, and I repeat, does not need to own an AR-15 style weapon. That's what it was. It was an AR-15 type weapon. If you're under the age of 18, you don't need to have that weapon in your possession. His father gave him the weapon, yes, for Christmas, but his father could have put it up until he turned 18, not give it to him at 14. So the father is equally culpable for this crime as his son is. Because, I mean, yes, his father didn't pull the trigger that day, but giving him that gun for Christmas basically is the equivalent of pulling the trigger that day. Why would you want to give a 14-year-old an assault weapon? That's just sheer stupidity. Because of these two, 4 innocent people lost their lives, and 9 others were injured. The 14-year-old shooter will spend the rest of his life behind bars. Because since he's a minor, Georgia isn't going to go for the death penalty. They're going to go for life without parole. And that's going to be 4 consecutive life sentences without parole. So he's going to have the rest of his life behind bars in prison to think about what he did at the age of 14. If that would have been my kid, I wouldn't have gave him a assault weapon for Christmas. And if I did, I would put it up in a safe until he turned 18. And the father knew, because they had a run-in with the cops a year ago over the same thing. Him making threats online about shooting up a school. Except this time, instead of threatening it, he went through with it. And just like the guidance counselor stated to his mom, he was talking about it that morning at school, about a school shooting. And then he texted his mom, "I'm sorry." And then she turned around and warned the school 30 minutes before he shot it up. So the school had 30 minutes warning, guys, 30 minutes to look for him and stop him. But they couldn't find him. They found someone with a similar name, but they didn't find him. 30 minutes warning before he shot up the school, and they couldn't find him. Were they really looking that hard? Were they really looking that hard for him? Knowing that he had mentioned a school shooting that morning, he texted his mom, "I'm sorry." The mom calls and warns the school about a extreme emergency situation. Go find my son and check on him. So at least we know now they had their warning. They had a 30-minute warning by the mom. But they dropped the ball. And don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming the school at all. I'm not. But if you're given a warning 30 minutes before something bad happens, and you go to find the kid and can't find him, that's kind of dropping the ball because you've had a warning. He mentioned it in school that morning to the guidance counselor. He also mentioned that he was wanting some psychiatric help. Then 30 minutes later, 4 innocent people die and 9 innocent people got shot. In the span of the time you were warned something might happen. And there's also some heartbreaking news. A case I covered here a few months back, Elijah Vu, a 4-year-old toddler that went missing out of Wisconsin. They found his remains. Yeah, they didn't find him alive. They found his remains. And his mom and her boyfriend are already in jail for child neglect, and they're more than likely going to have murder charges on them now. If not the mom, the boyfriend. Like always, guys, like, subscribe, and comment on my channel. Make sure you put some thoughts and feelings down there in the comment section on the Elijah Vu case, as well as the teen shooter in Georgia case. And let me know if you guys think down in the comments that the high school dropped the ball after getting the warning 30 minutes before. This is Robert with True Crime Podcast, and I'm out.
Like you, be strong to hold the powers of the sun. To dream